What's going on, guys? How about a raw recap of going away for 4th of July holiday weekend? Pretty good topic to go over because, especially during the summer, people are in and out of routine changes almost on a every few weeks basis because, again, it's summer and it's exciting to do different things when the summer rolls in. And so one of the things that comes with that is a change in routine and getting thrown off of your normal schedule, your normal routine, and the effect that it might have on your health, fitness, work, and just staying on top of your day-to-day activities, chores, etc. So we're just going to go through this as a raw talk. So I'm going to be checking the cameras, of course. We're here at All Else Fit Club, so bear with me on that. And I'm kind of just going to go over as a recap of the things that I did so that I didn't feel like a total piece of shit when I came back from celebrating the 4th. And this was key because in the past for me, and maybe this is you now, maybe this was you, but I would come back after going away for, say, a weekend or enjoying just a holiday weekend, even if it wasn't away, and I would be thrown off. It took me multiple days to bounce back. I had overwhelming work catch up. I was thrown off from my diet change and not trying to eat well. I was probably still hungover, and I honestly just was not able to perform at an optimal level for about a week after coming back, right? And so that sucks. It's a bad feeling. You feel guilty, you feel off, you're down on yourself. It's not an exciting, good thing to come back and feel like shit, especially after coming back from such a high and then to be hit with such a low. That sucks. And there's no reason for that. You can still go away or take time off or unplug or change up the routine and it not throw everything in a tailspin. There's no reason for that. You can keep a good balance where you don't ruin any fun, you don't ruin any good times, and you come back and you're still able to go right back into routine and stay in savage mode. And that's honestly what being all else fit is all about. Again, the motto, with all else going on in life, stay fit. Using fitness to enhance all other aspects of your life, not to make fitness just your life, but to take fitness as a tool and make every other aspect within your life that much better. A better you for all of the people in your life. And so when you're able to kind of put that practice into practice for changes in routine, vacation, unplugging, taking time off, whatever it is, you can be better about doing it and not deal with the whole, oh my God, I'm a piece of crap. So let's get into it because this is very timely. I've actually had a number of in-person conversations with people about this. They've struggled with it. I've struggled with it in the past. Again, you come back, you're hungover as hell for days, and your stomach's a mess because you've been eating all kinds of crazy stuff, processed food, junk food, quick food, tasty food, but trash food. And so I can't do that anymore. Mentally, it's very difficult for me to come back and do that, and too much relies on me being able to perform and be the ultimate version of myself and perform optimally on a daily basis between the businesses, the family, having a 2.5-year-old. There's just too much riding on you can't be a drained loser, and you can't take days and days to try to finally bounce back and be at an okay baseline level, hoping to try to become back to an optimal ultimate version of yourself. So I needed to make a change personally, and this weekend was a huge success for me, and it's honestly how I'm going to continue to go about it through finishing the summer. So a few different topics we'll cover. One is food, one is alcohol, one is workouts, one is activities, and then the last is going to be mindset. I'm going to try to make this all as quick as possible, but again, useful, effective, and something that can be utilized in your own life when you change up the routine. And I might use these terms differently: changing routine, going away, taking time off, vacation. It's all interchangeable. At the end of the day, you're changing up again your routine and your schedule, and the effect is a need to bounce back or no need to bounce back. So the first topic will be food. You go away and the expectation is maybe getting food that you normally eat is more difficult. Maybe the ability to eat is sporadic. You're running around, you're traveling, whatever it might be, or you're going out to eat and you're looking to enjoy and indulge. These are all very normal. These are all things that I encounter every time I take time off or change the routine. And this past weekend was no different. So what I did was, leading up, again, of course, for all things, I stayed dialed all the way to the last second. That means with my eating and nutrition and food. That means with my workouts. And that also means with making sure I was teed up for work so that I wasn't screwed coming back, and that I set myself up so that I could stay on top of work at the same time as being away, whether it's just with my phone or jumping on the computer, but not spending too much time doing that. So again, hammering it all the way to the last second is very, very crucial, but most people know that. How do you implement that practice during that time? So with the food, when you need to cave on something, whether it's because there's no access to anything, timing is tight, you're running around, that's okay. That's fine. Try to be schedule aware though. So instead of just not thinking ahead, try to think a little bit ahead. Could I have a breakfast where it's a bit cleaner of a breakfast? Get my protein in. Or is breakfast kind of mayhem? Maybe I don't even get to breakfast and lunch is next. What are you going to do? Are you going to eat a pile of crap? Or are you going to try to, again, have something that's better? Do you have access to things like smoothies? Is there juice bars, stuff like that? Can you take advantage of those? Again, be schedule aware, be destination aware, and that will help you kind of map out so that you're not just guessing every time you go to a meal and suddenly all of those meals were guesses and they were all misfires that you feel like crap from. So for me, if I can try to stay dialed for breakfast, maybe at lunch I'm able to have a clam chowder. Then we go out to dinner, and what's the menu like, right? Are you going to a place that offers, say, seafood or steak? And maybe you can have a steak dinner. Maybe you have a fish dinner. Again, more of the cleaner items. And if you stayed dialed all day, maybe you can cheat. Maybe you can have something that you don't get to have very often that's tasty, like a plate of fried clams. Or maybe you can have the fried clams as a shared appetizer, so you get to have a couple of them, but not a whole plate of them, and then you have, say, the fish. That's what I did. So over this weekend, again, try to be conscious of the daytime stuff. So, getting things like eggs, peanut butter, meat, burgers, and even, smoothies, things like that during the day, turkey sandwiches, chicken sandwiches, and then at night, kind of splurging on appetizers, getting chowder, getting some shared fried apps, and then having a good cleaner entree. So again, I was away at the Cape. I was able to kind of focus on the seafood. So if I was able to have, say, a halibut for a fish or a swordfish for a fish, I was able to kind of have a cleaner actual entree for dinner and not cave into something that's crazy greasy, crazy fried, crazy processed. So just be schedule aware. Try to implement in some aspects so that you can indulge in others, and it'll kind of weigh out instead of just going all in indulge, total piece of trash, then you feel like crap after. If you're able to kind of stay on top of it that way, you can eliminate the really low lows. So again, think of things like fish, things of like steak, cleaner types of foods like that are still really good, where you can enjoy going out to eat and you're not kicking yourself after. Next up, alcohol. This one's huge, because what do? You're away. You're supposed to unplug, unwind, relax. This is your chance to have the alcohol. My answer is have it. You should 100% enjoy. But again, be strategic, understand your schedule, and know your timing. All of those things should then pile on top of know yourself. If you don't know who you are with drinking, then that's a big problem, because you're either lying to yourself or you are very, very unaware. And that can definitely drag you down immensely, especially when it comes to alcohol. So if you understand how you operate, if you're the type that once you start drinking, you're going to keep rolling, know that about yourself. If you know that you're very capable of just having 1 to 3 drinks, then you know that you're very capable of that. and then you know you're not a problem. But if you're the type that once it starts flowing, it's good, you enjoy it, maybe the buzz starts to kick in, and that's when 1 to 3 turns into 5 to 8. Know that about yourself. I'm very self-aware about this. I like to let it flow once it's going. So that means I need to kind of prepare myself before. How do I mentally put myself in the state of, okay, you're going to monitor yourself so that you're not a hungover piece of shit the next day who has a 2.5-year-old, has business stuff to stay on top of, would like to be active, and just doesn't want a banging headache. So I was able to plan out each day, right? So one day we were going out to dinner. There were things to celebrate. It's a great restaurant to go to. The cocktails are good. I knew I was going to have a handful of drinks, but importantly, our dinner reservation was on the earlier side, and I was able to be done with drinking by 7:30 p.m. Done. No drinking till midnight. No drinking till 2 a.m. Done by 7:30. Hydrated once I was back home. Got to bed at a reasonable hour because that's how the schedule played out, and I didn't wake up hungover. Go to the next day. It's the 4th of July. Plans were to go to the beach all day with tons of people, boating. That's kind of my forte. I love it. Beach and boating, perfect. And again, I was aware though, okay, so we're going to be starting late morning with getting out to the beach, and we're going to proceed into probably mid to late afternoon. That's my window of time. That's when I'll get to drink, and then it's done. And so I will admit, we hammered beers on the beach for hours on end, but I was mixing in waters. I wasn't just absolutely crushing and slugging them. I was taking my time, putting one down, not constantly having one, taking breaks in between. Again, I know myself, and I didn't want to be absolutely hammered and then hungover as hell the next day. So I kind of stayed on top of my routine through drinking and made sure that I wasn't going to fall victim to that. And the result was I was done drinking by 4:30 p.m. Then that's it for the rest of the night. I had my time. It was fun. The rest of the night we hung out with everybody. We did a cookout, pizza, fireworks, and I had got my drinking out of the way, and I had mentally prepared myself to not spend the entire evening drinking, and I didn't end up waking up a hungover piece of shit. Success. Again, know yourself, prepare yourself, plan for yourself, and then implement. Next, we have our workouts. How do you work out while you're away? Maybe you have access to a hotel gym or a home gym, or you don't, in which case you're able to do some body weight workouts, push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups, whatever it might be, body weight squats, and then some cardio, maybe going for a run. This one's tough because you're away. Maybe you're supposed to be taking a break and a rest from all that. But if you're able to implement it, go for it. Maybe that is part of, enjoying the vacation, is being able to go for a run in the sun. So implement it where you can, because maybe the first day you can and the next day your schedule doesn't permit it. No problem, but at least you did something and you can feel mentally better about it, and you've prepared yourself to continue through the vacation and not totally taking a break from it. So just simply mix it in where you can. I mixed in a run, I mixed in some push-ups and stuff, and then I actually took an entire full rest day. No problem. So just implement what you can, and again, be schedule aware. Figure out where it fits and what fits, and then be mentally okay with what does and doesn't fit. Easy. Very doable. Next is activities. Are you active? Are you burning calories because you're doing active activities? Take advantage of that. That's a workout. That's a vacation workout. Why not? Check that off. And if you're able to stay active, that's a win. If you enjoy that stuff, that's a win. So again, kind of be schedule aware. Where can you implement more active activities into your time away so that you aren't just sitting on a chair for 9 hours next to the pool? That will, again, just simply make you feel better about yourself, and your body will have stayed moving. Last one's mindset. Mindset is key. I've kind of repeated a few of the same things as I've gone through each topic, right? Know yourself, be schedule aware, be event aware, and prepare yourself. If you have the mindset going in where you don't want to be a hungover piece of shit, you don't want to be blackout drunk, you don't want to gorge yourself till your stomach is popping out of your pants and you subsequently feel like shit for days after because your stomach needs to be reset. And if you're staying on top of windows of time where you could be active or get some type of a workout in, then that mindset that you've put into practice there is going to help lead you through it all. If you don't have a mental plan set up, you're going to end up guessing, and it's going to be a bunch of misfires. And like I said, you were unprepared, so you caved to overindulging, you caved to processed junk, you caved to not getting the chance to work out or exercise or be active or anything like that. And then suddenly you're dealing with a 7-day bounce back to finally just get back to a baseline level. But if you're mentally prepared, you're planning, and your mindset is that you're going to win in each of those categories, then you're going to win in each of those categories. So have the right mindset. That's key. And if you don't care about any of that, or any of this that I'm talking about, then go on and enjoy your vacation. But you're going to be the person that comes back and complains that it sucks, you're guilty, and you hate having to spend days and days and days fighting hangovers, a messed up stomach, being out of shape and out of routine, losing cardio ability, losing strength, being overwhelmed with work catch up. And if you have a family, your family doesn't care that you've drained yourself. They need you to perform at your best. So those are the two different mindset categories. You're either going to leave the weekend, time away, vacation, unplugging, change of routine as a winner or as a loser. And that matters, because if you can't afford to be a loser every time you do that, then your only option is to learn how to win. That breakdown is honestly how I came back with no lag, no delay, no bounce back window, nothing. Right back into the workouts, right back into eating. Stomach wasn't a mess, was not fighting any hangovers that were lingering for days, and felt back feeling great, no guilt, ready to rock. Nice chance to unplug, wind down a little bit, but also stay dialed in. Feel like a savage while you're away. Feel like a savage when your routine changes. And then reel it back in and be ready to rock, because sometimes that mental reset is super helpful to continue killing it and give yourself almost a reset to re-savage yourself. If you need help with this type of stuff, always happy to do so. Leave a comment, subscribe and follow for more content similar to this. Share it. I appreciate that. I appreciate you spending the time to listen to this. I hope it was helpful. I know it's kind of self-explanatory to a degree, but at the same time it's not. And sometimes just having it pointed out to you directly is what you need. So save this, use it for the next time that you're changing up the routine, and continue building up, onward and upward, being a savage. And remember, with all else going on in life, stay fit.